Hello and welcome to a new video here on ntower TV. Today we got the opportunity to interview Brjann Sigurgeirsson. I think I got that right. About the new game SteamWorld Dig 2, which will be released for Nintendo Switch. So, maybe Brjann, you could introduce yourself at first a little bit, and then we come to our questions, right?
Sure, yeah. Hi everybody, I'm Brjann Sigurgeirsson and I run Image and Form in Gothenburg, Sweden. So Image and Form is a studio of about 22 people right now, and we've made games like SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Heist before. Even before that we made a game called SteamWorld Tower Defense that nobody has played on the entire planet, I think. Well, except for a few people who are brilliant, and we love you very much. And now we're making SteamWorld Dig 2, which is coming out very, 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 very soon on Nintendo Switch.
Okay, sounds good so far. So I feel guilty because I haven't played SteamWorld Defense. What was it called?
SteamWorld Tower Defense? You haven't played it?
No, I did not.
That makes you very, very special. I think everybody, it's like on par with Super Mario. Everybody has played SteamWorld Tower Defense.
Damn, I got to check that out, right? Okay, so our first question is a little bit more about Nintendo Switch, and so before the official announcement of Nintendo Switch, you guys have been teasing the upcoming Nintendo console all the time in this Reddit AMAs, and people went crazy and interpreted everything. So when was the first time you came in touch with Nintendo Switch and Nintendo in general?
Well, so we at Image and Form, we suggested the Nintendo Switch to Nintendo back in 2012. And so we showed their engineers how to build it, and then they made sure to make it. It's not really true, actually. It's what happened is that in 2016 at GDC in San Francisco, I had a meeting with a few key people from Nintendo. It was a very, very formal meeting. Like it was in a boardroom, so it was a big table, and I was on one side, and there were 5 very important looking Nintendo people on the other side of the table. And they didn't discuss the Switch at that time, but there were rumors about people were talking about the NX already back then. And they asked me some specific questions about what the next project was, and also what the timeline was for SteamWorld Dig 2. And I think we sort of fit the bill very well. That we had a game coming out after March 2017, and also a game that would fit the Nintendo Switch very well. So when I got back, I did what I do every week. I sent them an email begging them to send us a dev kit for the Nintendo NX, as it was called back then. And apparently at that time, the timing was perfect. So they pretty much immediately we went down to Frankfurt to be disclosed, as it was called. And then it was really interesting because it was just me and our chief technical officer, Ole Håkansson. We went down to Frankfurt to find out about this new thing. And they showed us a presentation of the Nintendo NX, the specifications and so on. We didn't get to know what it looked like. So a little bit later, when people were leaking to the press what the Nintendo NX was and so on, I was terrified because. But at the same time, I was a little bit. I was feeling safe because we didn't really know what it looked like. So I was just as surprised as you in October 2016 when we saw what it looked like. We knew what it was, but we had no idea what it was supposed to be. So I was just very thrilled, and we were being very secretive the whole time. I mean, me and Julius, we always make stupid videos, but it looks like we're just talking out loud, but we make very sure that we don't say anything that we can't talk about and so on.
Yeah, that was maybe the fact why everybody thought you knew so much, but in fact, you were surprised as well.
Yeah. I mean, we were surprised at the how slick it looked. I was worried that Nintendo was going to make something that looked very much like a toy, like the Wii U. I felt like it felt like a toy, right? A kid's toy. But the Switch was just this sleek, perfect solution. My initial concern was the Joy-Cons. Like, are they gonna break? Like, if you take them in and put them back on and take them out and so on, how long are you going to be able to do that? I think it's just. I mean, we are doing it the whole time with the dev kits and so on in the office. So, yeah, it's a wonder of engineering. I think it's a wonderful little machine.
Yeah, right. So, let's come to SteamWorld Dig 2. You've been supporting Nintendo platforms for quite a while now, and SteamWorld Dig 2 will come out pretty soon, as you've already stated. And can you tell our viewers a little bit more about SteamWorld Dig? Is it somehow linked to its predecessor, SteamWorld Dig, or what's it all about, and something like that?
Right. So SteamWorld Dig 2 is obviously linked to SteamWorld Dig. Otherwise, it would be strange to call it SteamWorld Dig 2. It would be kind of cool if it wasn't linked at all, but it actually is quite linked to SteamWorld Dig. But it's at the same time, it's a standalone sequel, so you don't have to have played SteamWorld Dig to enjoy SteamWorld Dig 2. And I think you will enjoy SteamWorld Dig 2 because it probably is the best game that has ever been made for the Switch. There is some stupid game from Nintendo called Breath of the Wild that has been getting a lot of good ratings. But yeah, it's close to SteamWorld Dig 2 in terms of quality. So I think you can expect just a piece of gaming brilliance in SteamWorld Dig 2. It's the best game that Image & Form has ever made, and we've made some pretty good games.
Yeah, I can confirm that. SteamWorld Heist was pretty awesome, and of course SteamWorld Dig 1 was too, so check that out. Okay, so what in development, what was your biggest challenge to overcome, maybe?
With the Switch, you mean?
Yeah, with the Switch and with the game also, maybe.
Okay, well, first with the Switch was we were surprised how easy it was to work with. Because we are used to, when we get new platforms to work with, we overcome the problems and we do it pretty easily, but it always takes time to sort of get your first game onto a new platform. So we had set aside 14 days or like almost 3 working weeks to get a decent build up and running on the Switch. And instead it took 2 days to get it up and running. And so we were sure that we had made something wrong. So we were talking to the engineers at Nintendo just to make sure. It's like, is this right? I mean, is it because it's running now? It's like, and they said, well, yeah, that seems to be in order. So it's been uniquely easy to work with the Switch. Now, the other challenges in development is how are we going to make a game? How are we going to make this game very much better than SteamWorld Dig? Because, I mean, if you look at the reviews, people love SteamWorld Dig. They think it's a great game. So how are we going to make a game that is so many times better than SteamWorld Dig? Well, one thing was that people thought that SteamWorld Dig was short. And so we decided it's not going to be too short. We're not going to just prolong the gaming time by adding a lot of grinding. We're going to add a lot more interesting content into the game. Another thing was that people thought there's only like one real boss in SteamWorld Dig. Okay, we'll have to address that as well. More bosses and more interesting stuff to do. And also with SteamWorld Dig 2, we can finally make a game that is worthy of Nintendo, because this time after SteamWorld Dig, we added a few really skilled level designers. And that means we have a action platformer that is just it's like it has all those wonderful things that you want to see in a platformer, like stuff that you can barely make, but you can actually do it. You can find you go looking for stuff for forever and ever, and it takes you forever to find it. But the game isn't being a bastard. The game is actually just being pretty clever with how you find stuff. And so you have so many hours of gameplay ahead of you if you're going to complete SteamWorld Dig 2. It's just chock full of things. So it was a super big challenge to accomplish all that. I mean, we're a team of 22 people. Like, last I checked, Nintendo, there are 2 million employees, right? And everyone is a level designer. So, no, I'm exaggerating, but I think we are making an amazing game, and there's still very few people working on it. So we have to be really clever. It's a big challenge to be a small team and try to make a game that is a game that Nintendo themselves would have been proud to make.
That sounds pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing.
Okay, so upon developing the game, was there some character you think you like most, or as I've seen, there are some more characters in it than in SteamWorld Dig 1?
Well, the thing is, I mean, with SteamWorld Heist, you had sort of like a team experience, right? You have the lead character, Piper, who is the captain, but she is not more important than any of the other characters. You can sort of find your favorite character easily with SteamWorld Heist, because it's like, I like to play this way, so I choose these characters. In SteamWorld Dig 2, we had to make sure that Dorothy, the main protagonist, the main character, that you like her, that you want to be Dorothy, you want to play her. And also in SteamWorld Dig 2, you have this companion, and that's something that we haven't had in our games before. And it's great because you can sort of add a lot of quirkiness and humor to a character like that. It's not the main character, so that character only appears every now and then in the game, but sort of has a key role in the game anyway. And it's great because you can add so much to a character like that. Like, you can make that character a real bastard, like someone that you don't really like, but that adds a lot of humor and sort of just personality to the game. But the most important character, and the one that I sympathize with the most, is obviously Dorothy, because she is, in a way, she is sort of playing out in the game the way we experience life. Like, we set out to do something in life, and that's the goal, that's the target. And like after a while you sort of get off target, like you wanted to do something and you're not succeeding, and suddenly you realize that I'm doing this instead. I say, what happened to my main objective, and so on. It's a really fascinating thing in the game when you realize that I'm exploring this world. I'm forgetting. It's like you forget what your mother and father taught you to do, right? You're sort of on your own in life. I enjoy that moment when you realize, like, what am I doing? It's like, I'm just enjoying myself. Where's my mission?
Yeah, right. It sounds pretty philosophically, and sounds great. Concerning humor and funny stuff, was there anything you wanted to add but could not, or?
Well, it's a game that comes out on a Nintendo platform, so there's a lot of dirty humor that we can't have in the game. But that's okay, because we didn't want it in there in the first place. But there is a lot of quirky humor that we sort of picked up with SteamWorld Heist, which is, there are so many cultural references in SteamWorld Dig 2, and also there were so many in SteamWorld Heist. I mean, in SteamWorld Heist, I think we had 300 plus references to movies, to comics, to cultural phenomena, to pop culture, everything, like music and so on. And we really enjoyed it. It sort of becomes like an inside joke to have all those references there. But it's very enjoyable. We liked it very much. So we said, let's continue to do that in SteamWorld Dig 2. And SteamWorld Dig 2 is just chock full of references to things. Everything that you don't understand immediately in SteamWorld Dig 2 is a reference to something. So it'll be one of those games where you sit and Google while you're playing the game, I think. Or maybe not.
Maybe not, but it sounds cool. So there will always be some folks who understand one joke and or another.
And it becomes like an added dimension to the exploration in the game, because SteamWorld Dig 2 it's all about exploration, to explore the world. But also all these references, all the nuances in the games is also just it's just open for exploration.
Yeah, sounds promising actually. So, regarding the soundtrack of the game, will there be some special appearances like steam-powered giraffe was implemented in SteamWorld Heist?
Well, I think we're going to get back to you on that very soon, but we have something very nice lined up there as well. I think at this point I'm going to say that the soundtrack for SteamWorld Dig 2 is remarkable. I think it is truly awesome. It's a really, really great soundtrack.
I can confirm that too, because I played a little bit here, right? A little bit. So in SteamWorld Heist there was this running gag with the heads you could collect. Is there anything similar in SteamWorld Dig 2?
Most definitely, yes. There's a big element of collecting in SteamWorld Dig 2, and I don't mean just going down collecting resources, take them up and sell them. The collecting of the collecting of. Sorry, yeah, I was about to give it away. Let me put it like this. There's a big element of collection. You want to collect certain items in SteamWorld Dig 2, and they have a profound impact on what happens in the game. Yeah.
Right, okay. So I think we've come to our last question for today, which would be, what do you think about the future of the Nintendo Switch, and do you consider developing more games for the new Nintendo console?
I think the future of the Nintendo Switch is just super bright. I think everyone here agrees that the Nintendo Switch is the most interesting platform in the world right now. That's a no-brainer, and it's also a no-brainer that we're going to bring many more games, hopefully, to Nintendo Switch, because it's like, I mean, before you had a before you had a smartphone, like you had a mobile phone, and then you had like a PDA, right? You had a personal digital assistant. And I was always thinking, I was carrying around these two things, and I was thinking, why can't I have why can't I have both in one? And then Apple comes with the iPhone, right? And it's like, well, I want this. This is what I want. And now suddenly, like, the Switch comes, and it's a stationary console, and it's a handheld. And you sit there and you go, it's like, duh, this is what I wanted a long time ago. Like, this one machine. And you look at it, it's just slick, you want it. I think it's going to continue to be a massive sort of consumer hit. And so it would be really stupid if we didn't develop more games for it. So, yeah, that's definitely the plan.
Okay, sounds good. Well then, we would like, obviously, to thank you for the interview and wish you all the best for SteamWorld Dig 2. And yeah, if you liked the video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time. Hello and welcome to a new video here on ntower TV. Today we got the opportunity to interview... I know your name, but it's pronounced Brjann, right?
Yeah, Brjann Sigurgeirsson.
Okay.